"Throw the scavenger out!" shouted the CEO at his mother. But when a stranger in a white barong stepped forward, the ballroom went cold. You won't believe how a wooden rosary destroyed a 500 million peso lie in seconds. The chandeliers of the Makati Hotel glitter like diamonds. Rafael Santillan adjusts his silk tie. He signed a 450 million peso deal. Manila elite toast to his success. "To the king!" someone shouts loudly. The ballroom doors suddenly swing open. A woman stands there, shivering and soaked. She wears faded rubber tsinellas and a cheap duster. Oh, what a heavy sight of human misery. Water drips from her onto the polished marble. She clutches a bag with a rosary like a treasure. "Rafael, is that you, my dear son?" she whispers. The music stops. The entire room turns cold. Rafael's face turns bright red with burning anger. "Who let this scavenger inside?" he screams at them. "I don't know her. Throw her out, now!" He steps forward with a heart of cold pride. "My mother died in the 1998 floods." The woman looks at him with eyes of tears. "I searched for you for 25 years. He laughs, a cruel and very hollow sound. "Security! Drag this beggar back to the gutter." The guards grab her thin and frail arms. She looks at the scar on his right wrist. Suddenly, the heavy doors slam shut by themselves. A man in a plain white barong Tagalog and sandals appears. His face is weathered by the golden sun. He stands between the guards and the woman. Now the truth will fight against the lies of the powerful. If you believe that God defends the humble, please support this story with a like and subscribe. Do you think wealth can truly erase a person's past? The two heavy-handed guards, frozen in place like statues. The man in the plain white barong Tagalog smiles softly. He places a gentle hand on Elena's trembling shoulder. His touch is calm, but carries a great weight. The expensive air of the Makati Hotel turns still. Rafael feels a cold sweat on his expensive forehead. "Who are you to interrupt my celebration?" Rafael asks. His voice cracks like a thin piece of glass. The stranger does not shout or show any anger. "The truth is not found in blueprints," the man says. His voice reaches every corner of the large room. "It is found in the scars you try to hide." Rafael instinctively pulls down his sleeve to cover his wrist. The stranger helps Elena stand straight with much dignity. He fixes her grey hair with a look of love. The guests whisper in the shadows of the gold pillars. They feel a power they cannot explain with logic. This man has no gold, but he commands the room. The guards find they cannot move their heavy muscles. It is as if the earth itself holds them still. Elena looks at the stranger and finds her breath. Her heart beats with the rhythm of old hope. The man in white nods to her with deep knowing. He looks at Rafael with eyes that see everything. A mother's prayer travels further than a private jet. Rafael's heart hammers against his ribs like a drum. The perfect image of his life begins to crack. This moment was hidden for 25 long years. Now the light of God shines on the dark secrets. If you believe that the truth always finds its way, please support this video with a like and subscribe to our channel. Can a man truly run away from his own blood? The stranger steps back, but his presence remains heavy. The real storm is just beginning inside this ballroom. In the middle of the chaos, something small hits the marble floor. It is a worn-out wooden rosary from Elena's old plastic bag. The beads are dark and smooth from years of constant prayer. Rafael looks down at it, and his breath suddenly stops. His eyes travel to his own right wrist with shaking hands. He pulls back the sleeve of his expensive Italian silk suit. A jagged white scar
stretches across his tanned skin.
It is a mark from a kerosene lamp fire in 1995.
Elena whispers through her tears, her voice soft but very clear.
I stayed in the fire to push you out the window, Raphael.
The flames were licking my back while I held you high.
I spent 8 months in the charity ward of the city hospital.
They told me my little boy was taken by the cold river.
But I never stopped asking God to bring my son home.
Flashbacks of a small nipa hut by the river flood his mind. He remembers the smell of rain and the warmth of a mother. He remembers the taste of simple rice and the sound of lullabies. The perfect golden history of his life begins to rot away. His corporate mask is cracking like dry earth in the sun. He begins to tremble, his legs feeling weak like water. The man in white stands silently, watching the heart break open. His presence is a shield for the broken woman on the floor. Every guest in the room feels the weight of this ancient bond. The gold of the ballroom feels like a heavy, dark cage now. A mother's love is a fire that no flood can ever extinguish. Truth is rising like the sun over the mountains of Luzon. If you believe that a mother's love is the greatest gift from God, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Can 1,000,000 pesos ever replace the touch of a mother? Raphael stares at the wooden beads, his heart finally starting to beat. The lies of 25 years are melting under a single wooden cross. The heavy silence is broken by the sound of firm footsteps. An elderly woman enters the grand ballroom of the hotel. It is Sister Teresa from the provincial orphanage of San Jose. She was not invited to this elite Manila party. No one dares to stop her or ask for her ID. She carries a yellowed, dusty ledger from the year 2001. The paper is thin and smells like old memories and cedar. Sister Teresa walks straight to the center of the room. The man in white nods to her with a look of peace. She opens the heavy book to page 142.
Look at the records, Raphael, the sister says softly.
The ink shows a private donation of 200,000 pesos. It was paid by the Santillan family to acquire a child. The record clearly describes a small boy with a wrist scar. The ledger proves that Elena never signed any legal waiver. She was officially told her son drowned in the Great Typhoon. The documents show a dark trade hidden behind expensive charity. The legal foundation of Raphael's entire life is a criminal lie. He was not an orphan saved by a rich, kind man. He was a stolen treasure, bought like a piece of land. His mother was alive and searching while he wore gold. The truth is heavy, but it is the only way to be free. Every guest stares at the dusty pages of the old ledger. The prestigious Santillan name is now stained with the truth. Justice is not a storm, but a quiet, steady rain. If you believe that no secret can be hidden from God's eyes, please support this story with a like and subscribe. Can money ever truly own the soul of a child? Raphael reaches out a shaking hand to touch the yellowed paper. The life he knew is falling away like dry leaves. The man in white watches as the light of truth burns. The golden doors of the ballroom burst open with a loud bang. Governor Victor Santillan storms into the hall with a heavy face. He is followed by 4 armed bodyguards in dark suits. The man Raphael calls Father looks at the crowd with deep scorn. He laughs at Elena's wet duster and her cheap rubber Sinellas. "What is this circus in my hotel?" Victor shouts with arrogance. He walks to the center, his leather shoes clicking on the marble. "I bought you for the price of a second-hand jeepney, Raphael." The guests gasp as the governor admits the dark transaction. He pulls a legal document from his gold-trimmed coat. You were a nameless brat in the mud of the flood, he sneers. I gave you a name, a life, and a future of millions. He looks at Elena as if she's a piece of trash. If you choose this beggar, I will take back every single cent. I will strip you of your 500 million peso inheritance. You will be back in the gutter where I first found you. Victor steps toward the woman and mocks her silent faith. Where is your God now, old woman? He dares with a laugh. Can your Jesus pay for his cars or his penthouse? The governor's power feels like a wall of cold stone. He thinks money can silence the voice of the Holy Spirit. But the man in white remains calm, his eyes fixed on Victor. The governor does not see the invisible hand of justice moving. He only sees the gold he uses to choke the truth. The room is thick with the smell of expensive perfume and old lies. A son must now decide between a kingdom and a mother's kiss. The light of the hotel chandeliers feels dim against this dark heart. If you believe that no amount of gold can buy a person's soul, please support this video with a like and subscribe to the channel. Is the price of a soul really found in a bank account? Victor stands waiting, holding the document like a sword. The choice is laid bare before the eyes of all Manila. Raphael takes the inheritance waiver from Victor's shaking hand. He looks at the fine print with clear eyes now. He sees a clause called Section 8, Finder's Fee. It lists a large bribe paid to a corrupt official. The paper says Elena was declared dead in 98. Raphael realizes he was never a son to this man. He was just a commodity to replace a dead child. The weight of the five-star lifestyle feels like a cage. His luxury penthouse is just a box of golden lies. He looks at his mother's calloused and rough hands. They are hands that scrubbed floors to buy him milk. Victor gave him cold gold and a heart of stone. Elena gave him her own skin and 25 years of prayers.
The man in white stands near the edge of the stage. His presence makes the truth feel heavier than the buildings. Raphael feels the silk of his suit scratching his skin. He realizes that true wealth is not in a bank account. It is in the heartbeat of the woman who saved him. The governor screams about power and political connections, but the truth is a river that no dam can hold. Raphael looks at the inheritance waiver one last time. He sees the price tag they put on his soul. A soul bought by blood cannot be sold for paper. The man in white smiles, knowing the heart is waking. The air in the ballroom is finally becoming fresh. The grand plan of God is moving like a quiet tide. If you believe that God restores what the world steals, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Is it better to have a mansion of lies or a hut of truth? Raphael slowly begins to tear the legal document in half. The sound of ripping paper is louder than Victor's shouts. In front of the rolling cameras of the media, Raphael acts. He unfastens his 1.2 million peso Rolex watch. The heavy gold metal hits the marble floor with a clack. He turns his back on Governor Victor and the empire. You can keep your millions, but you cannot have me. The governor's face turns pale like a ghost in the night. The police enter the ballroom with a whistleblower from his staff. They have handcuffs ready for the man who thought he was God. Victor Santillan is arrested for human trafficking and falsification of documents. The high society of Manila watches as the tyrant is led away. Raphael does not look at the cameras or the fallen watch. He sinks to his knees in the middle of the ballroom. He does not kneel before the governor or the board of directors. He kneels before Elena, the woman in the wet rubber tsinelas. He takes her small, rough hands into his own soft palms. "Ine," he whispers, his voice thick with 25 years of salt.
Mother, please forgive me for being blind for so long. He weeps like a small boy in the middle of the storm. Elena strokes his hair, her heart finally finding its missing piece. The man in white stands behind them, his shadow long and peaceful. He does not need to speak. The victory of love is loud enough. The elite guests bow their heads, feeling a sudden holy shame. The pride of the Santian name is gone, replaced by a son. A mother's prayer has broken the walls of a corporate prison. If you believe that true dignity is found in humility and love, please support this story with a like and subscribe. What is a Rolex compared to the touch of a mother's hand? Raphael stands up, holding his mother close to his heart. They walk out of the hotel and into the cleansing rain. The Grand Makati Ballroom is now a distant memory of gold. 6 months have passed since the truth set them free. Raphael and Elena live in a humble house in the province. The air smells of fresh pale and sweet mountain rain. They used Raphael's personal savings to start a new mission. The Luz ng Ina Foundation now helps many displaced families. Raphael works the soil with his own 2 hands every morning. He no longer wears silk, but his heart is finally light. Elena sits on the porch, holding the wooden rosary. She watches the sunset paint the sky in purple and gold. A man in a plain white barong Tagalog walks the road. He stops for a moment to look at their peaceful home. He smiles at the sight of a son serving his mother. Then he quietly vanishes into the soft morning mist. The wooden beads hang on the wall next to a photo. It shows Raphael and Elena laughing under a mango tree. What man steals by force, God always restores by grace. Faith is not a loud miracle, but a quiet, daily choice. Justice is a seed that grows into a tree of life. The storm is over, and the morning light is here to stay.
If this story reminded you that God sees everything and acts in His own time, support it with a like and subscribe to the channel. Please write the word faith in the comments if you also believe in God's justice and the power of a mother's prayer.